Good morning. My name is Beth Gallick, and I'm the Executive Director for the Bay Area Manufacturers Association. Before we begin today, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping items. If you're having any technical difficulties, please click on the square with the question mark found at the bottom of your screen. You can also email admin@bama-fl.org with any questions. My team and I will be interacting with you through the event Q&A box. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, please submit your questions through the Q&A box on right below where you see me. You can test that out now. Please let us know what school or company you're with. While we're finding out a little bit more about you, I'll tell you a little bit more about our organization. BAMA is an industry-focused membership organization serving the manufacturing industry in Tampa Bay. We support manufacturers and promote economic development in our area. We are also the official representation for Florida Makes in Tampa, and through this affiliation, we help manufacturers in a variety of ways. We help expanding market opportunities, developing customized innovative solutions, adopting best practices, and assessing opportunities for state-of-the-art technologies and training. Our solutions are designed to help companies address current challenges, create new opportunities for growth, and achieve measurable results. Additionally, we serve as advocates for the industry and for promoting advanced manufacturing careers. We're here today to help change your perception of what it means to work in manufacturing. And with that purpose, and in celebration of Manufacturing Month, we're hosting free virtual events and activities for you to engage with throughout the month of October. Today, I have a real treat for you. The company we are touring today was a finalist this year for the 2020 Sterling Manufacturing Business Excellence Awards, Omnicell. We have with us the factory manager of the Omnicell facility in St. Petersburg, Florida. He is a U.S. Navy veteran with over 20 years of manufacturing and quality management experience. And he's been the site leader for Omnicell's St. Petersburg location for the past 5 years. Please welcome Bruce Craig, who is the Senior Director of Manufacturing at Omnicell. Bruce, if you could please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit why manufacturing is important to you.
Sure, Beth, and thank you for having me. At Omnicell, our vision is to transform the pharmacy delivery model, improve outcomes, and reduce cost for our customers. So I can't think of a better industry to be involved in where you can manage your supply chain from the supplier through the production process, through warehousing to shipping. And manufacturing, there's never a dull moment, and there's always a challenge. The most exciting thing about my job and the work that we do here at Omnicell is there's always problems to solve, and that's one of the most important thing that I find exciting about Omnicell. Whether it's a product problem that directly impacts our customers, or it's a process problem, or just our effort to continually improve and make our products and processes better. So I'm really excited to highlight what we do at Omnicell, and hopefully for some of the students and other organizations that are on the line today, they'll really get excited about manufacturing, because it's just an amazing industry to work in. There's never a dull moment, and regardless if you are interested in finance, engineering, software, there's many opportunities in making a plant run and building product and satisfying customers each and every day.
Thank you so much for that. And I would like to welcome a few schools that are with us this morning. We have Armwood High School, Northeast High School, and also Barbara Williams is with us. She's a transition specialist with the School District of Lee County in Fort Myers. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have not yet introduced yourself, please do so in the Q&A box. We'd love to hear from you and hear where you're visiting us from. So right now, we would like to go ahead and play the video. We're doing a virtual tour of Omnicell. So let's go ahead and see a little bit more in depth of what you do at Omnicell. Very nice. Great look inside your company. Thank you so much, Bruce, for allowing us to help you create that video. Can you tell us a little bit about the process in getting the video created?
Yeah, the Florida Makes team was really incredible. They came down on a Friday, and we walked them through the plant just to get them familiar with what we do in our plant. And we basically just took them around the process. They rolled footage, and then they spent about um, 3 hours with myself, Matt, and Shane, and just interviewed us and asked us a lot of questions about what we. And here you can see the magic when it was all done. It was a really, really nice video and very well done. And thank you to BAMA and Florida Makes for making that possible.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do that and present to the students. So we do have Bruce here, and he is available for any questions that you have. So type those questions in the Q&A box, because he is all yours for at least a little while longer until he has to get back on the floor and continue working on this Friday. But Bruce, why don't we start by telling a little bit about, what initially attracted you to the field of manufacturing? How did you get involved?
Well, in my intro, as you mentioned, I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. So I spent about 8 years in the Navy, nuclear power. And then nuclear power, we go through about a 2-year training program where you learn all about nuclear engineering, mechanical, electrical, reactor theory. And when I left the Navy, we really focused on power plant operations and equipment maintenance. It was an amazing transition into manufacturing. So I started my career with General Electric Company, and I kind of worked my way through various management roles. So I started on the floor as a facilitator. That's a supervisor in GE speak. Second shift, supervising my employees, building generators and steam turbines. And then I went to first shift, and then I got into production management, and then went into quality. I got my Six Sigma black belt, and then I got the opportunity to run the final assembly and test area where I had about 165 people working for me. And then my career took me to Florida, where I got the opportunity to lead the GE transformer manufacturing team and help them with some of their quality issues. And then I came to Omnicell as the director of quality about 10 years ago. So it's every day, there's always a new opportunity. There's a new problem to solve. And it's always exciting, and it's always rewarding. So I'm very, very excited about the career path that I've chosen and how my career has developed over the years.
And Bruce, can you tell everyone a little bit more about the Six Sigma program if the kids aren't familiar with it?
Yeah. So Lean Six Sigma is basically a basket of formal problem-solving tools. And you can use it for a minor problem. We call them, just do it or Nike projects, where the problem isn't very complex, but it may have pretty significant impact to the plant, to a quality defect. In that case, you just use simple lean tools. If you have a very complex problem where you might have 2, 3, 4 different sources of variation in your process, you're going to need some statistical methods. You're going to need some formal problem-solving tools to really identify on what you need to work on. And basically, you step through a process which we call DMAIC, and it takes you through how you define the problem, taking an everyday problem, putting it in statistical terms so you can measure it properly, digging in getting your baseline data, understanding, um, what success is, setting some goals for the project, doing your team charter, and then you get into the fun. You look at all the different potential sources of variation. People may have heard that as a fishbone, and you quantify those as potential sources of impact to solving the problem, and whether they're easy to do or hard to do. And then you kind of drill that down, looking at and get a group of what we call vital few. You focus on those vital few, come up with some ideas on how you're going to influence those and drive variation out of the process. And then you make those changes, monitor using your data, sources that you've already identified, and then you work to solve the problem. Once you've confirmed with statistical methods that the problem is under control, and you've made that impact that you're looking for in the goal setting stage, then you put your control measures into effect and make sure that your improvement is sustainable for the future.
Okay, great explanation. Thank you. And you mentioned you had started in the quality department. Can you talk a little bit more about what you did in that role and why quality is so important in manufacturing?
Yeah, quality is actually number one if you think about it. You can go through a process to make what your perception of the best product in the world is, and if the customer isn't satisfied, or the customer sees a feature of that product, or translates something as a defect, if they no longer buy that or their satisfaction isn't high, it's going to have real business impact. They're not going to place that next order, or you may have to have a lot of churn within your team to try to stabilize the process and make it right for the customer. So number one thing is when you launch a product or you're making a product, you got to make sure that the quality is right and it's top of the industry standards, because the impact of churn and fighting defects can't be understated. High quality all the time, that's how you get efficient manufacturing operations. For me personally, I really enjoyed my black belt training, and it really seated me to make sure that I always have the customer in mind in anything that I do, because that's what it's about: customer satisfaction, making sure that they want to place that next order to make your business grow. And I take that with any project, any discussion, anything that I do as a manufacturing manager. And at Omnicell, it's seated at the center of thing that we do in our business.
And what types of equipment would you use in the quality department? What tools or equipment are typically used?
Well, your control plan is going to define what that inspection process looks like. But for us, it can be tools as simple as a caliper. So when you make a product, you'll be taking some dimensional measurements and making the determination if it's conforming or not, which means is it within your tolerance or outside of your tolerance. And we also, since we deal with adhesives, we have some Instron testing equipment where it'll give us a continuous measurement of glue strength, for example, so we can see if that is changing as the process goes on, day one versus day two versus month two, year two, to see if there's any change. And then we want to chart that and make sure if there's any variation, we're hopping on it before it causes an issue. We also, with our adhesives at the door at incoming inspection, we'll do some viscosity measurements just to confirm that what we're receiving matches what we're paying for. It matches the certificate of analysis that our suppliers are giving us.
Okay, very good. And with your facility in St. Pete, how many employees do you have there?
We have around 280 in our location. On the manufacturing side, we have around 155, and then we have round numbers around 15 in the quality group. So manufacturing quality, we're kind of viewed as one team because we're executing and we have the same goals each and every day. So that total would be around 170 of the 280 that are on site.
Okay. And in the video, you mentioned the career path that would possibly be available to someone coming in at an entry-level position. And can you speak a little bit more to that and how old an employee would have to be to start as an assistant?
Well, the minimum age requirement is 18 for Omnicell. Even some of the interns or vocational programs that we've participated in, still 18 is our requirement. And for an entry level position, we're basically looking for someone that has good work ethic. They're trainable. They're going to come to work each and every day. They have a good attitude. But for those roles, material handling, you get trained on a fork truck. You'll be able to move material from point A to point B. Clap, clap. And then for the assistants, it's basic skills as well. You get some training. You're going to be at the end of the line. You've got to package that product, but you also have to be able to look at the product, and be able to do a quick check, just to make sure that it's conforming before you put it in a box. And then if that goes well, we have a lot of assistants that say, "Hey, I'm ready for the next thing." They've demonstrated that they're trainable, that they're going to work hard, that they can take construction, and they're ready for that next step. They can go through more extensive formal training to actually run the machine. So we make plastic products, so we saw the blisters in the video. We saw cards in the video. So on blisters, we have over 100 different types and geometries. On the card side, we have over 1,000, and there's a lot to learn. So before we invest in someone where it may take upwards of 2 years to really be trained at that high level of proficiency, we want to make sure that they want to be trained. They're in for it for the long term, and any opportunity that we give them, they're gonna embrace and really work hard as a team member for us. And then after that, in manufacturing, there's so many different things to do. I kind of touched on it in the beginning. So if you're someone that likes finance, right? Do you really want to go into a field where you're just looking at spreadsheets or doing a P&L statement or doing a report on a customer? I mean, in manufacturing, we've got that too. Cost is very, very important for business. So anytime we make a new product, we have to cost that product as part of the development phase. As we're producing, we monitor our cost, we monitor our efficiency, and those basic math skills on the finance side are used in our industry. If you wanted to be an engineer, you can go into a field where you're just working in a box in an engineering department, or if you're manufacturing engineering has the most excitement of any engineering field that I've ever dealt with, right? Manufacturing engineering, not only are you going to be able to work on the design, but you're going to have to figure out, how do we make that process? What are all the different parameters and stations that it has to go through as it goes through the process? How do we control that? What are the specifications? How is the process actually delivering to the specifications? What can we do to limit that variation? Bringing on new equipment, going through qualifications. It's really unlimited action in a manufacturing plant. If you wanted to get into software programming, we have that too. We've got 13 different pieces of equipment. We've got support systems that support those machines. we have PLCs that need to be programmed. We have business intelligence that's pulling data off of our lines, processing it, um, reports that we do. It's like truly manufacturing is where it's at. It's where the excitement is. And if you don't want to be in a box and you want to have just limitless opportunity for new things and just to be challenged each and every day, there's no other choice in my mind. That's where you want to go.
Very well said. Yes, I agree. And when you were talking about creating the designs, what type of programs would you use to do that?
It's typically AutoCAD or SolidWorks. SolidWorks is a platform that we're moving to across all of Omnicell. And then there's other programs that we might use for data analysis. We'll use Excel. We'll use Minitab. Tableau is also a favorite for us, and it just helps you basically put your imagination or your design into a space to be shared, and then be taken through the design and development phase. All of our drawings use that same CAD software, so that'll become part of our design record and part of our quality management system.
Okay, we have some more questions coming in from the students. How many SKUs in your business?
SKUs is a stock keeping unit. We have over 75,000 in our plant.
And also, how many employees work at Omnicell? And, I think you have some different locations as well.
Yeah, Omnicell-wide, we're well over 22,000 employees. 2,200 employees. We have locations in 2 sites in California, St. Petersburg, of course, Pennsylvania, and then internationally we have operations in UK, Ireland, Germany, Australia, and then France as well.
And have you gone to some of the other facilities?
Yes, I've been to all the manufacturing facilities in the U.S. Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to go international, but we talk weekly, on different business issues to make sure we keep in touch.
And are operations pretty standard throughout the different operations or different locations?
The basic business functions and how we operate is standard. The U.S. does all the manufacturing at all of our different locations, and our international locations are primarily warehousing, sales, and distribution.
And you talked about some internships. Do you have those year-round, or is it just during the summer?
Typically, they'll start in the summer. We did have a couple that it went so long, we kind of extended that into the first semester of the following year. Unfortunately, based on the pandemic, we weren't able to make that happen for this summer, but next year, hopefully, it will be a different case.
And how would someone apply for either an internship or a job?
For a job, that's pretty easy. careers@omnicell.com. So all of our jobs are posted. You can apply. They'll go directly to the HR department and the hiring manager. For the intern programs, typically our HR department will help facilitate that for us. I don't have all the details at my fingertips.
Okay. And a follow-up question is, what tools do you use to determine inventory at the SKU level?
We use SAP. So that's our ERP that we use at Omnicell. So any material movement, whether it's a receipt, a transaction that takes material from location to location, as the product is being moved through our manufacturing process, behind the scenes, anytime we do a GR or a scan, that inventory is transferred out of stock, for example, into the product. When we move it from manufacturing to our what we call release area, where it gets an independent check by our quality group. It'll be controlled, and then the warehousing employees will then transact that, and it'll be moved to the warehouse.
And back to the job positions, other than salary, what are some other perks with working at Omnicell?
Omnicell has some of the best benefits in the industry. So healthcare is available. We talked about advancing your career at Omnicell. We also have a tuition reimbursement program. So if we have hourly employees that say, hey, I love manufacturing, I want to take my job to the next level, and they need to take a couple classes or they want to go for that degree, Omnicell will support them financially through that process. If you have a senior operator or a lead and they want to toe into management and they want to become a supervisor, Omnicell also pays for that, part of that education up to a limit amount every year. Other things, wellness programs. So we have a pretty awesome program where you have the opportunity to participate in events that will help improve your health or lifestyle. Through the St. Petersburg leadership team, we always have a couple of different events that are going on that employees can participate with through their community. There's probably more, but really Omnicell is just is so focused, and it's all about the employee and taking care of the employee. We know people matter. Relationships matter is one of our core values, and Omnicell puts their money where their mouth is.
And we were lucky enough to tour your facility a few times with BAMA, and I got to see your facility. It's beautiful, clean. Your break room was amazing. So maybe talk a little bit more about the break room, and then you also had a gym facility.
Yeah. So our facility, we did a full remodel in 2019. As part of that, we said, what do we want this facility to look like in the next 5 years? What are our business challenges? What do we need to support our customers and our employees? So part of that remodel included making sure that we had a large area where our employees could take breaks, step off the manufacturing floor and have some place where they can relax. In addition, we've kind of dual-purposed that room. One of the challenges that we had before 2019 is how do we communicate well with our employees? We wanted to make sure that we have a nice space where we can bring the team together, have regular meetings, debrief them on the business. So that break room will hold well over 100 employees at a time. We also have vending services that we provide our employees. So we have a vending partner that brings in fresh sandwiches. And it's like they can just go to the cooler or what they want, and then each employee will have the opportunity to set up an account. They can either code in or fingerprint and to pay for that purchase. As far as health and wellness, we have just an amazing fitness facility. So we've got different stations. We've got a squat rack. We've got bench press. We've got different stations. Several treadmills, rowing machines. Again, just a nice place where you can support your health and wellness as an employee, because that's important to Omnicell. It's important to our employees.
Very good. Yeah, and a healthy employee, definitely, keeping people healthy and safe is such an asset to your company as well. So it's wonderful that you see that and you, really invest in that and invest in your employees. And then, on that point as well, with the COVID pandemic, what changes had you have to make to address that and to keep your employees safe during the pandemic?
Well, number one, I don't think anyone in the world was really expecting that to happen. So from an Omnicell perspective, we said there's really three things that we need to focus on. Number one is employee safety. We've got to make sure that our employees can have confidence that they can come to work and be safe. Number two, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our customers. Then number three, we need to make sure that we continue to grow the business. We don't know how long this is going to last, but we may need to think outside the box and accelerate some of our digital transformation initiatives that we kind of had in the hopper. So as far as the employees go, number one was just making sure that we communicate. So all the information that was available on COVID and pandemic, we made sure that we got that out in front of our employees so they understood. The three things that we need to do as citizens, as employers, making sure that we make masks available for employees, make sure that we take a look at our operations and we social distance, and then finally make sure that we're encouraging our employees to wash hands. So from a facilities and supply chain perspective, probably the first thing that we did is our current facilities contractor that is responsible for cleaning. We made sure that we get all of our facilities and common areas cleaned and disinfected multiple times each and every shift. We ramped up our supply chain, and PPE was very difficult to get in the beginning, but we used the resources at a high level Omnicell to basically say across all of our sites how much PPE are we going to need in forms of gloves, masks, disinfectant, hand sanitizer, and that's not only the manufacturing sites but also the service folks that are going in to hospitals, they're going into long-term care facilities. What are we going to need Omnicell wide? So we quickly got organized, and we basically came up with a line rate, right? So thinking in manufacturing terms, how much are we going to need each and every day, each and every week, each and every month? And we got contracts in place through our supply chain, got all those supplies brought into our Waukegan facility, and then we distributed those throughout our network to make sure that we had what we needed each and every one of our sites. We basically looked at our cleaning protocols for our lines. Before the pandemic, we did what we call a flying changeover of shifts because we do run 24 hours, 5 days straight. And we made the determination that we need to shut down each and every shift for 15 to 20 minutes and disinfect all of our lines. So we started that immediately. We looked at the employee placement at each workstation. What are the employees' movements? How close are they together? We marked off the floors. Where we needed to make changes on how employees interact with each other, we made those changes. Break area, we took a look at that, made sure that we have the opportunity to social distance where possible. So we basically went from 100 people capacity to around 25, spread out the tables, took chairs away, and then instead of having one break area, a break time, per shift, we did that to 3 on days, 2 on second, 2 on third, to spread our employees out. So all of this is really about reducing risk, and of course, we distributed hand sanitizers, supplies to all the lines, and we also installed disinfecting units on each hallway, each bathroom. Just anywhere you can look now, we've got that foam disinfectant. And it's really, we also started an audit program. So we had quality audit all of our facilities once a week, make sure that that we're reinforcing to keep our employees safe. And it started out as the employees, were resisting at first, but we know now we're all in it together. We continually communicate it in every one of our presentations, and it's at the top of mind. We talk about it every day at our daily meetings. So really important that we keep our employees healthy, and that we get through this together, making sure that we have the healthiest employee possible, making sure that we have the healthiest business possible as we work through this for the next 6 to 9 months.
Sounds like a very detailed program that you put in place. Did that create some jobs?
No, there was really, it's possible, and indirectly through the additional cleaning requirements of the facility, but those were contracted jobs.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about the robotics that you use there in your facility?
Yes. In the video, I don't have the exact time, but there was an orange machine that you could see last. That is a piece of equipment we call the E3. It's a single-dose automated packager that will be used in long-term care facilities, hubs, if you will, where our customer might have a contract with multiple care homes, and they need to fill their prescriptions very, very fast. So that machine will take 200 plus medications in its library. The script information will come through the pharmacy information system, be fed to our software, and it'll fill the package, and it comes out totally filled. If you were to try to fill that manually for a single dose pack, it would take 5 to 6 minutes. For a multi-med pack, it'll take 20 minutes, and that machine will actually fill 10 cards each and every minute. So just a huge win for our customers as far as efficiency. And I had talked about Omnicell's vision is to transform the pharmacy delivery model by improving outcomes and reducing costs. That's one piece of technology and equipment that does that for our customers.
And looking down the line, do you see any other new technologies that your company may be adopting?
Yeah, so Omnicell doesn't really impact our site specifically, but for those that follow Omnicell, you may have heard about the autonomous pharmacy. So the vision there is to use Omnicell equipment software. That's the automated dispensing cabinets. That's the XR2 supply robots. That's the IV. So that's the compounding robots. To basically have all that equipment in the hospital, and it basically sits on a platform where it knows all the scripts and everything that the hospital's pharmacy has to do, and it helps the pharmacist do that automatically. So each prescription, each node, like we like to call it, is basically goes to our software, and it's out on the cloud. And when all that information is together in one system, just think about how powerful that is, and all the data on the hospital's supply chain, we give them analytics on how the business is performing. Imagine a hospital system that has like 5, 6, 7 different sites, and if they have a shortage in one location before Omnicell's technology, they might not know that they actually have a 10-month supply at another hospital. Our software gives them insights to allow them, again, to improve outcomes and reduce cost. And at the end of the day, it's all about taking those healthcare professionals, the nurses, the pharmacists, and allow them to focus on the patient, on the care, instead of having to worry about how that script is going to get filled. At Omnicell, our technology takes care of that for them.
Wonderful. And to wrap up everything, what advice would you give to students who would like to pursue a manufacturing career? Any additional advice to them, what they could be doing now?
My advice would be just try hard. Make sure you focus on the math and sciences. And at the end of the day, it's go into a field that you're going to enjoy, right? 40 hours plus a week is a lot of time to spend at a job, you know, that you aren't passionate about, that you aren't going to enjoy doing each and every day. And manufacturing is really the sky's the limit, you know, on opportunities, on you know, having other things that you can try, other things that you can do. And at least in our plant and other plants that I've worked in, you know, there's so much room to grow, and there's always that next rung you can reach for if you have a good attitude, if you're trainable, if you love your job, and try hard each and every day. Just give it all you got.
Great advice. And how can they keep in touch with your company to get all the updates?
Omnicell.com. There's, you know, we have a wonderful website. It basically is focused around the autonomous pharmacy because that's really where we're heading over the next several years. You know, if you go to careers@omnicell.com, you can see our postings. And then at omnicell.com, there's a section for medication adherence. And that's where all the information on our site and our products that we produce in St. Petersburg are.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you so much again for being here with us and presenting that tour. It was a great look inside Omnicell right here in St. Petersburg, Florida. So we appreciate your time, Bruce, and thank you so much for being with us today.
You're very welcome, Beth. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Okay, and thank you everyone for joining us. Please check back. We will have other tours happening all month long for Manufacturing Month. So have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much again for joining us.
All right, bye, everyone.